Welcome to our channel Map to Immigrate. More Canadian provinces have implemented the system for issuing Provincial Attestation Letters, PALs, to international students applying for a Canadian study permit. New Brunswick, Saskatchewan and Newfoundland and Labrador now issuing Provincial Attestation Letters. 3 more Canadian provinces have implemented systems for issuing Provincial Attestation Letters, PALs, to international students applying for a Canadian study permit. As of January 22, 2024, Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, IRCC, requires that provinces issue PALs according to the allocation of study permits they have been granted under the newly introduced cap on study permits for 2024. New Brunswick, Saskatchewan and Newfoundland and Labrador are the latest batch of provinces to set up a system for issuing PALs. They join British Columbia, Quebec, Alberta and Manitoba. All remaining provinces and territories have until March 31st to begin issuing the letters. Getting a PAL in New Brunswick. According to IRCC, New Brunswick has had a PAL process in place since March 18th. It advises international students to contact their designated learning institution, DLI, to find out how to apply. While each DLI in the province may have a slightly different process for obtaining a PAL, most schools will require that students complete a series of steps to apply. For example, the University of New Brunswick, UNB, advises international students who have been accepted to log into their student account and ensure that they have paid a non-refundable deposit on their tuition. UNB says this acts as proof of a student's intention to attend classes. The school will then request a PAL from the province on the student's behalf and notify them by email when it has been processed. Processing time is expected to take 2 weeks. Students may then download their PAL to submit with their final study permit application. Getting a PAL in Newfoundland and Labrador. Newfoundland and Labrador's PL system was implemented as of March 19, 2024. Like other provincial systems, international students are advised to contact their DLI to apply for their PAL. Memorial University in St. John's has the largest number of international students of any DLI in the province. It says it will contact admitted students via email to collect any additional information required for the attestation letter process, starting with students who intend to start in the May 2024 semester. Further details are not available. Getting a PAL in Saskatchewan. IRCC's official webpage says that the PAL process for Saskatchewan has been in place since March 13th. International students are advised to contact their DLI to get their PL. Canadian Provincial Attestation Letters. As of 2024, some international students looking to study in Canada will need a Provincial Attestation Letter, PAL, from the province or territory where their school of choice is located. Although most undergraduate college and university students will require a PL to apply for their study permit, there are exceptions to this rule. Students pursuing primary and secondary education, as well as those pursuing a master's degree or PhD, do not require a PAL to apply for a study permit. On this Canada visa page, you will find key information about what a PAL is, who requires a PAL, and how to obtain one. What is a Provincial Attestation Letter, PL? Following a new international student cap imposed by Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, IRCC, in January of 2024, some international students wishing to study in Canada will now need a PAL, in addition to a Letter of Acceptance, LOA, to apply for their study permits. The study cap, which in 2024 will allow up to 360,000 approved study permits this year, is divided among Canada's provinces and territories based on their respective populations. The PAL is a method by which provinces verify that the acceptance of a specific international student contributes to their respective allocation of international students. When students receive an LOA from their designated learning institution, DLI, the only schools in Canada allowed to accept international students, they must also receive a PL from the province or territory that their DLI is located in before applying for their study permits. Each province or territory is charged with developing its own framework for issuing PALs, with each being slightly different. Below, all individual frameworks are covered in detail. Provinces have until March 31st, 2024 to create a system for implementing and issuing PALs to international students. Who needs a PAL? PALs are a requirement for 1. Most post-secondary study permit applicants, i.e. undergraduate, university and college students, and 2. Most non-degree granting graduate programs, for example certificate programs and graduate diplomas. PALs are not required by 1. Primary and secondary school students, master's or doctoral degree students. 3. In Canada visiting or exchange students studying at a DLI. 4. In Canada study permit and work permit holders, including existing study permit holders applying for an extension. 5. In Canada family members of study permit or work permit holders. 6. Students who have already been approved for a study permit and intend to travel to Canada for an upcoming program. And 7. Students whose application was received before 8:30 a.m. EST on January 22, 2024. What information should be included in a PAL? According to ministerial instructions released by IRCC, at a minimum, the following information should be included in a PAL for an international student. An applicant, international students: 1. Full name, 2. Date of birth, and 3. Address. Getting a PAL in Quebec. While not much information is currently available regarding receiving a PAL in Quebec, IRCC has confirmed that a Certificat d'Acceptation du Québec CIQ can function as a PAL if the document contains the following line. This attestation letter confirms that the applicant has a place in Quebec's share of the distribution of study permit applications or is exempt from it. A KQ is a document issued by the Quebec provincial government to certify that an applicant has met the province's admission criteria. International students must submit a CAQ in addition to an LOA as part of their application for a study permit to IRCC. Getting a PAL in British Columbia. British Columbia, BC, has been allocated 83,000 undergraduate study permits under their provincial allocation from the federal study cap. The province says that 53% of PALs will be for public post-secondary institutions and the remaining 47% will be for private institutions. Under BC's system, DLIs will issue PALs to international students along with LOAs. Students may then use both these documents to apply for their study permit. Getting a PAL in Alberta. Though Alberta has not publicly stated their study permit allocation, the province has begun to issue PALs through DLIs. Under the Alberta system, students will first receive LOAs, and once they have committed to attending that specific school, DLIs will then request PALs on the student's behalf to the Alberta provincial government. Once issued, students will then utilize both the PAL and LOA to apply for their study permit. Getting a PAL in Manitoba. As of March 4th, Manitoba has launched its PAL system, however not much has been announced by the provincial government. As with other provincial systems, students must inquire with their chosen DLI about the specific process of receiving a PAL from the Manitoban government. More information will be available here once announced publicly. Getting a PAL in Saskatchewan. As of March 13th, Saskatchewan has launched its PAL system. Students should inquire with their selected DLI to find out how to apply for a PAL in Saskatchewan. More information will be available here once released by the provincial government. Getting a PAL in New Brunswick. Starting March 18th, New Brunswick has started their PAL system. Similar to other provinces, students should inquire with their chosen DLI about how to apply for and acquire a PAL. Some schools in the province currently require international students to pay a deposit fee after receiving an LOA. After receiving this deposit, schools will then apply for a PAL on the student's behalf. Getting a PAL in Newfoundland and Labrador. As of March 19th, Newfoundland and Labrador have started issuing PALs through their system. Students must inquire with their chosen school in the province about how to receive a PAL. More information will be posted here when announced by the provincial government. Getting a PAL in other provinces. Not all provinces have announced and implemented their systems of delivering PALs to international students yet. Provinces and territories currently have until the 31st of March to create and begin using their respective systems. Further information will be available on this page once more systems have been announced. Thanks for joining me on this journey through the IRCC news. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our Map to Immigrate channel for more videos exploring the latest advancements and insights in the latest news. For more information contained in the content of this video, www.sicnews.com.